G'day guys. Okay, so what am I doing on this video? So I want to show you the different ways that I regularly use my Distress Oxide inks. Now, I've pulled out a few stencils, and this particular video is going to be more about explaining what I'm doing rather than, so I'm showing you the technique rather than showing you an example of it already done, right? So I use finger daubers, I use brushes, larger brushes, and I use these beautiful little mini blending tools. These are fantastic. They're mini brushes. They are so good. And then you've got these little tiny ones that are on an angle. They sometimes work really well as well. And I also use makeup sponges. So I use quite a few different things when I'm using my oxide inks to get different looks. So let's have a play. Let me show you. Now, I don't have a finger dauber per ink because I've got 70 inks and I don't have 70 daubers. Okay, so I keep myself in the same color tone, and I try and keep to, you know, a light and a medium and a dark or a bright, you know, like that's pretty much what I do. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to get moving and I'm going to show you something. Now, I'm going to show you how to lay out your stencils. I've got 3 different stencils. I've got floral, I've got some words, and I've got some, I call it like a generic pattern. So it could be squares, it could be circles, it could be hexagons, it could be anything like that. So just a generic pattern. Now, this is the way that I approach a layout when I'm doing a layout. So I've picked some colors and I've thought about it and I thought, oh, okay, rightio, what do I want? So I will lay down some color, like just a wash of color. So I'm going to put down some green. Now, the thing that you've got to remember is green and orange is going to make brown. So be careful. Now, I am going to just load up my brush. That's all you have to do. The ink stays in them, so don't stress too much about wasting ink and all that sort of bizzo, because it's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. It's not difficult. I'm just going to put this, because I'm using my large brush at this point, and we know that orange and green is going to make brown, and that's not really the look we're after today. So I'm just adding where I can add the ink on, where it's going to just, you know, get it on there, bit of color, all good. Don't stress too much about where you're getting it exactly. Now, I've done that, got some green on there. Now I'm just going to switch over to a smaller brush, and I'm going to use the pink first. So I'm just going to use one of my smaller brushes. Now, don't stress about transferring the color to your ink pad because I've already cleaned these, so don't panic. Now I'm just going to use my little fine brush, and I'm just going to paint just the tips of my flowers. Get a bit of color in there. Not being too pedantic about any particular one. Just trying to sort of get it on there and get some color down, because at the end of the day, this is not, I'm not trying to recreate an oil painting. I'm giving myself a background. I'm creating a look. Now, I probably don't want this huge one. I probably want another, sorry, I'm trying to, I have heaps of these brushes. So I'm trying to load it up with some orange, and we'll add that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in a little bit of orange into some of the pink flowers. So I'm not mixing it with the green, so we're not going to end up with brown, but we're getting a variegated look. This is what you can do with these little mini brushes. Hopefully you can see past my hand. This is what you can do. And because they're the distress oxides, they'll go over the top of the color underneath. But if you mix them, you will end up with brown. Now, I missed a bit there, so I'm going to, oh dear, I tell you what, it is so cold here today. Holy macaroni. Now, I did manage to just grab a small green brush then, so I'm going to bring in some darker detail. And this way, using these mini brushes, I'm not going to mix the colors. And what I'm doing is I'm putting down a second layer in my brushes here. I'm making that one green because I don't want to take forever here for you, but this is how easy it is if you get your hands on these mini blending brushes. So I've done that, if I can lift it up. Okay, so I've got that down. That looks pretty cool. Looks like we've spent 5 minutes on it, but so I've got that down. Now don't forget, we have to clean that later, don't stress. And then what we do, now this tray, this has got a non-slip bit on the back. You can buy silicone trays now that do it, but I made this one ages ago and I absolutely love it because it stops my ink pads moving around. Now I've done that, I now want to bring in, I should have done this, I was debating whether to do this before or after. So I will use a, what will I do here? Let's do some orange. Actually, I'll use a bit of yellow. I've got it here on a dauber. I'm just going to add some added texture in the background, but not solid. So you're not going in there solid, hard, you know what I mean? Like you're just adding some texture to the background, see? So you're not taking it away from the flowers. And you can add a little bit here and a little bit there. I'm just going to put a little bit up here because I am going to come in with a picture. Imagine this is like a small, so that's your dauber. So that's that one. Now I didn't add any ink to that. That's how much of these inks stay in, the product stays in there. You don't need to constantly top them up all the time. Now I am going to come in with a title. So here's another stencil. So I'm going to make it, let's do fun. No, that's too short. Let's do laugh. Laugh's pretty good. Now, when you get a stencil like this, you can use it all in all, or you can mask it off with a bit of tape. You can use washi tape, you can use, I'm using mint tape right now because it was right next to me. And you can literally create as many little mini stencils as you want out of this. I bet you anything I will go over. If I don't cover that little bit, bet you I will go over because I do it too. So I'm going to add laugh and I'm going to probably put it there. And I'm going to come in with a brown. I know that's, you know, a little bit different, but it goes with the colors that we're doing. And I'm just doing a really light hand with it. So it's getting darker in the center, lighter to the outside edges, and then boom, bada bing, you've got yourself a title popped on there. And then you want to go around and you want to create yourself a border, you know, like let's see what we can do with a border. Well, you can do some, what do we want to tie the border in with? Let's go pink. Why not? Why not go pink? Go big, go bold, go bright. So I'm going to use my large blending brush and you can go around the edges like this. And you can create that kind of look, nice and blended like that. Right, I have just re-inked this ink pad, so you could do it like that all the way around, or you could quite easily get yourself, because I'm just playing here, okay? So this is not rocket science. This is just playing around. I'm going to use the green. I'm going to get a piece of cardstock. I'm going to tear it in a wonky way. And I'm going to use that as a mask for the bottom. And I'm going to grab my green because that's what I just opened. And I'm just going to go like that. And it's going to give me a different kind of border along the bottom. These are the things you can do with the inks, guys. This is what I'm saying. This is why I wanted to do this series, because there's so many things you can do. Check that out. It looks like you've literally grounded your plant. Then you could go, another thing that I do quite a lot, again, pull out your tape. Actually, I'll use the tape that's already on here, because why waste it? This stuff is gold. So I'm going to add, where am I going to do it? Here. So I'm going to create a border. Normally I would use a full strip of tape, but you've seen me do that if you've seen any of my other videos. If you haven't, if you're getting value out of these videos, I would love it if you liked, subscribed, all that sort of stuff. Helps my channel out, helps me create this kind of content for you. Hopefully you're getting value from this. And then when you do that, you can then peel it up and you've got yourself a nice square border. You know, that's something different. And then maybe at the top you might want to do, let's have a look and see what will we do at the top. I know what we're going to do at the top. Let's pull back our stencil. No, that's going to tie it in too much. Whoops. That's going to tie it in too much. Let's go with a, let's do another one of these, but I'll do a different color. So because it's green at the bottom, it sort of looks like it's the end, you know what I mean? Like it's the grass. So I'll do orange. This one is carved pumpkin. Oh, hang on. I'm going to mix with that. There we go. Move it to the side. And we're going to create a big juicy orange top. There we go. So there you go, guys. That is that simple. That's how you can use your stencils, your stamps. You can then come in with your pen work on top of that. And to be completely honest with you, like there's a half a dozen techniques that you can use in one hit that will totally bring your page to life. Add a little bit of pen work there. You know, maybe you want to go around your whole border. If I spent 5 minutes, I probably would have grabbed a different pen for this, but you know, that's all right. Make your title really pop. And this is how quickly you can create something like this. You could do it obviously in a 12 by 12 setting. You could multiply that across the bottom. You could, the ideas are endless, guys. Like I say all the time, if you're stuck, if you're scrapbooking and you're at home and you're scrapping by yourself, shoot me a message through Facebook and, you know, message me and say, Karen, I'm doing this. This is, just show me a photo and say, what do you reckon? You might not like my idea, but then again, you might. And you might go, oh, that got me out of it. I'm always here. So there you go, guys. That's how you can use stenciling and ink, and you can use brushes, and you can use mini brushes and daubers, and you can do all of that all in one hit. So I will be back with more inspiration very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.